If you've got a van with Dometic windows, you'll know the pain of turning your lights on at night when you pull up to camp in the middle of nowhere and having a van full of bugs. Absolutely sucks for us. We hate it, but I have spoken to some people and done some research, and we have found a cheap, easy DIY solution that you can do to just bug proof these windows just a little bit more. Today I've got the parts and I'm going to do it. So let's get into it and show you how. So the bugs get in around the perimeter of this frame. You've got a roller at the top and a roller at the bottom. So when you pull the blind up or down, it'll unroll, and that creates a smaller diameter roll. Bugs actually just climb up and over the top of the roll and get to the inside of your van. So if you see here, there's quite a large gap between the edge of the frame and that roller. There's your roller there. So when you have your outdoor window open and your mesh down, they simply go up and over the top of that roller there. You can see it better from this side. There's your roller there from the outside. So as you pull that down, it gets smaller and smaller, and the bugs just crawl up and over the top of that. So today we're going to put a sticky back brush seal along the top of that roller just to try and close that gap up a little bit. Now, recently Dometic have changed their windows, and they've, from factory, put a brush seal down the sides, which if you've got older windows or different style of windows, different brand, pay attention to that. You may have to put a brush seal down the sides as well, and that'll just stop any bugs crawling around this mesh, because it just runs down that channel track. See, I can just put my hand straight through that. So if that's touching a brush the whole way down, it just stops bugs coming in a little bit more. We have flat windows in this van. It's not the pleated variant, but it's much the same with your roof hatch as well. And you can see here along the top just how easy and how big those gaps are for bugs to just walk around the edge of that. So I've pulled it out now. Good job. There we go. So I might, if I can, get a brush seal up in there as well and just try and eliminate those gaps along that edge, just to stop any bugs coming in through the roof as well. You can see all the daylight coming in there. It might block a bit of daylight out as well. Real easy. This is all the tools and equipment you'll need. I just got a rag and some rubbing alcohol just to clean the area before I stick this brush down. Tape measure to measure the brush, some cutters for it. But this is the part you'll need to buy. It's about $6 or $7 from Bunnings. Self-adhesive backed brush seal. This one is a 6mm thick, 7mm width, 5m length. So there's a fair bit in there. Work out whether you need the brush up the sides, because that'll eliminate a fair chunk of brush that you'll need to purchase if you don't need them. So this is the brush itself. Just a nice little felt brush. Just comes in a roll. It's got a bit of a sticky back adhesive on there. So you just peel that off, stick it on. Really easy, really simple. I think anyone will be able to do this. Righty, these windows are the Dometic Chals. They're a little bit easier than most to get off. They simply pull off. There's no screws, there's no fixings that you have to remove. You just have to remove the frame to access the rollers. Depending on what model you got, you might have to work out how to get the screws out. If there's any little covers around the place, that'll show you where your screws are. But for this example, you just grab the window frame, give it a good yank, and watch all the bugs fall out the bottom. There'll be a lot of them, depending on how long it's been or if you've ever removed them. So that's the frame off. Nice and simple. You can see the rollers top and bottom there. It's a good time to give everything a bit of a clean too, vacuum all the bugs out, and just give it a good wipe down before you install the brush and put it back together. So you can see here, it's a good view of the inside of the roller. You got your roller, you've got your slides up and down the side, and then you've got your magnetic strip. So you can see this gap here is where the bugs get in. And the bugs are on this side, and they just simply climb up and over that. Now that's a pretty large gap. And then when you say have the window shut, as if you would have it shut at night, you can see how much bigger that gap gets as that roller gets smaller and uses that material. So quite a large gap there. Looking at it, it's about 8mm or so. So we're going to put the brush seal in here, and we're going to just try and eliminate the bugs getting up and around here just that little bit more. All right, now we want to just clean this edge before we stick the brush seal down. So open your window either way as far as you can, just to open that gap up and give you a little bit more room. Grab a rag with some rubbing alcohol or similar on it. Just give it a good clean. You'll notice that No matter how often you clean these or scrub your windows, if you don't pull the frames out, you get quite a bit of dirt on there still, and it's obviously not going to stick to anything if it's covered in dirt and dust or bugs. There's a lot of bugs in here. So we're going to start at one end, just peel the sticky back adhesive off a little bit and just get this corner in here nice and tight, all the way snug into this corner. Press it down firmly, flush with this frame, and you want to center the brush strip right underneath the center of this roller, just so it makes maximum contact. You can already see how much of a difference there is between that original gap and where we put that brush seal. So it's very, very small. There's maybe a mil gap there. So we've reduced that, getting any big bugs in. You still might get a few small ones in through that, but massively reduced that gap for any bugs to enter. So we'll go ahead and chuck this on, do both ends of that, and then we can pop this one back in, and then that is one window done. So that's the brush there, touching nicely the whole way along. Now that is in the open position, and I just can't do it one-handed, but I'll open that up and we'll have a look at it when it's in the fully closed position. So that is fully closed, as you'd have it sleeping at night or whatnot. And you can see that gap is very, very minimal in there. So not many bugs are getting through that compared to what it was. So absolutely stoked with that. Nice, easy DIY fix. This whole window took me about 5 minutes to install it, 5 minutes to get it off and clean it. So you could probably knock this out easy, saying 15 to 20 minutes per window, depending on your application. If you've got a heap of screws around the edge you have to remove, it might take a little bit longer. Another thing to note on these, I guess, quick release press-on window frames from Dometic, they're really simple. It's just a little groove, I guess, that this ball clicks into. So very, very simple. Now these are always a little bit loose. They're finger tight only. Don't do them up with a spanner or anything. Just nip them up if they're a little bit loose. That's all you got to do. They just press straight into there, click on the whole way around. Just, I don't know, pick the bottom two or the second two up, hold them with each hand, line them up. And once you've got those two lined up, then everything should be lined up around the perimeter, and then just push those in, work your way around, click them all on. And then that is as easy as it is for reinstall. There you go, that window's all back together. I'm gonna go ahead and do all of the remaining windows in the Caravan. And then tonight, we are gonna test it. We're gonna chuck a few lights on and hopefully see a lot less bugs in the van. I just started pulling this corner of the frame out. And look at this. Look at this guy. That is the reason that you wanna get these out and give them a good clean, because they all just sit in there. Just dirt, gunk, bugs, everything. Give them a good clean while they're out, and they'll be like brand new. And again, you can just see how many bugs get stored. I've just pulled the kitchen window out. Just heaps of them, even big guys like this get in and just sit in there and wait. So I did have a go at putting a brush strip along the top here. I did install it. I got one side stuck on. I kind of fed it through the magnetic strips here. Got it all the way along. It did work, however, it just bound up a little bit on these magnetic strips when you're moving it side to side. So I have removed that. It did not really work that well. So it's unfortunately just gonna have to stay as it is for now, and I'll work on another solution. So that's it. The van is all sealed up. Ended up using 2.5 rolls of the Morrow Day brush seal from Bunnings, $6 or $7 a pop. It took about 15 minutes a window. So at the end of the day, 10-15 minutes a window, less than $20, you can seal your van up as well. If this has helped you, let us know. I'd love to hear your comments whether you've done this or you've got any other tips and tricks or hacks like this to stop bugs getting into the van. I'd love to know. Let us know in the comments. Cheers, guys.